So Lisa, how many essays have you edited?
Let's say like 10 students per year. Each person has a personal statement and then they apply to 10 schools and then they have 3 different essays per school. That comes out to be a conservative estimate, 5,000 essays.
That's a lot of essays. But how many students actually integrate their extracurricular as well?
Well,
Hi everyone, I'm Yumi.
I'm Lisa.
And we're here to talk about how you can best integrate your extracurriculars in your college essays. But what's the best action? Supplements or personal statements?
So I've seen personal statements with extracurricular activities go horribly wrong in many cases. Please refer to our previous videos.
Yes.
But I feel like the better place for our extracurriculars would be in the supplemental essays. The supplemental essays are very direct. You have to answer specific questions and they're not really free form, which means they give you a perfect framework to talk about your different extracurriculars in like a shorter format, but still in a lot of detail.
So there are many types of supplemental essays, but I think we can broadly categorize into like community, why this major, why this college, and a random essay. So starting with community, how can students best add their extracurriculars there?
So when I say community essay, I want to clarify something before we start. The question says community essay. How can we better our community? It does not say ever that it's a community service essay. Now that service is a key word because all the students that I've worked with, for some reason, immediately think, okay, community service. I have to talk about what I did to help my community in the lines of community service. But nowhere in the prompt does it actually say that. To write a good community essay, we need to focus on community building, interpersonal skills, how we build a community together, how do we work together, collaboration. These are the keywords you should be thinking of, not beach cleanup, NHS, volunteering. They can be community building, but the whole point of this prompt is not to address those questions.
And to make it a little bit more specific, I think you should think about like what is the community? Like what is the circle that you're talking about and what is your role in the community? Don't just leave it with, this is my community. What is your role in it? And importantly, what is your impact as well? Community, your role, impact. For example, I remember a student who talked about how he really was into finger biting as a habit, obviously. And he figured out how to create a community of finger biting people and his role in it and the impact he has made. Do you remember that as well?
Yeah, because so biting your fingernails is a habit that a lot of people have and they don't want to have. So it can translate to a lot of different things, but for this particular student, it kind of translated to like overcoming addictions. So whether that's like Alcoholics Anonymous, overeaters, shopaholics, it kind of starts from a habit that you can't really break on your own. And he was able to extrapolate just biting his fingers to something that's more of a bigger impact in the community. Not just, sitting at home biting his nails.
And I remember another student who actually started the essay with, I'm an addict, but it's an art addict. So there's a lot of addicts in our high schoolers nowadays, but she started off with I'm an art addict, and she talked about how in her art class outside of school, that was her big community. It's not just about drawing art, learning art, it was about like really building relationships. So they would draw and like paint, but they will also talk about their like personal life, who you dated last week, how was this new jeans that you bought from the mall, and things like that. And I think it was a really good expression of how she grew up and what her personality is and how she interacts with people. So that really made a strong community essay.
And like, let's face it, if you're really interested in something, you will have it like in the morning or in the evening or during the afternoon, and it won't just be like a 1 hour a week kind of involvement. So by kind of, putting yourself in this community, it shows true passion, inspiration, and the fact that you genuinely are interested.
And then another set of essays that people really struggle with is why this major? But this is actually the essay you need to write about your extracurriculars.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, so how can people approach this essay?
So for the why major essay, you have to show your passion, like we've said, but this is the place where you can show your academic passion. Now, a lot of students want to brag in their personal statement, in their community essay, in all the different essays. But if you're gonna brag, this is the place to do it. You want to say, why are you interested in biology? Why are you interested in environmental science, in art, in history? And it's better if you have a more personal story that you can relate to and be like, look, this is my point of interest. This is how it all started. This is the seed of my inspiration, and I want to continue to grow it because I have these personal motives behind it.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a great place to write about your research experience too, if you have any, because there's really no other place to write it except your like little extracurricular list of 150 characters. So this is the place, you guys.
Not the personal statement.
And on top of your extracurriculars, you really want to show how this is your vision and how it's a very personal vision. So I remember an example of the Disneyland trash can, right?
We had a student that really liked to go to Disneyland over the weekends. I also like to go to Disneyland. But so the story is Walt Disney was walking the park and he was watching people to see how long they'll hold onto their trash before they throw it away. Well, the magic number was 30 feet. So anytime there wasn't a trash can within 30 feet, they would just kind of litter on the floor. So Walt Disney saw this and he made sure that at Disneyland, you have a trash can from wherever you're standing within 30 feet. So you guys can try this out. If you go to a Disney park, look at how many trash cans are around you and you can kind of measure the distance, right? So this kid was able to see that and was able to understand Walt Disney's vision and was interested. Hey, so environmental science is not just about, praising the environment, being like, you need to do the good. No, there needs to be a certain level of convenience and human psychology behind why you're interested in this major if you're gonna save the world. So these kind of inspiration was very personal and it's very relatable and it makes sense. Like a kid went to Disneyland and figured out, why are there so many trash cans? They seem empty. Why do we need one right here and then another one right there? Well, he was able to explain it through these personal experiences.
And then you can lay out the more like research and extracurriculars and other parts too. So starting with personal and then the extracurriculars can work or the other way. Depends on the style, but you get what we're saying, right? And the third most popular type of essays you'll get to write is the why this college essay. So you want to show them how you fit with the school, how you really want to go, but also what you can receive from the school too. A common mistake that students make is they go to the website and then they look at the mission statement. And guess what, you guys? You will see that each college will kind of say the same thing in just different words, right? And you know why? Because higher education's mission is all the same. There are 3 types, and I'm gonna list them somewhere here. But that is why everyone says the same thing. And also, they can't really say what they want. They're gonna say publicly what they want to say. So you can't really find the genuine, authentic vision of what they want. So you have to dig in a little bit further.
And I can kind of help you to figure out what each school wants. And a good way to think about it is look at what kind of research they're doing, whether that's on the news or in their research tab. If you kind of look through it, you can kind of see what that school's purpose is. Are they more like traditional academics? Like, do they want to learn about the mysteries of physics? Are they more like application based? Are they more focused on AI and like marketing and all these like business strategies? You can kind of figure out what the school's true mission is through what kind of research and where they're spending their funding. So once you find that, you can link that back to your extracurriculars. So let's say you're applying to the University of Hawaii. If you talk about how you were in a ski team and you were really good at it and you want to continue that, we have a slight issue, right? Like, obviously, that's like an extreme example of what you shouldn't do. But at the same time, you should think about what kind of activities would complement that school and what kind of activities from that school would complement yourself. It's a relationship.
So even if you don't find what you're looking for there, like, for example, I had a student who really wanted to figure skate, but at school, there's not a figure skating team.
Oh.
But then there is a very small figure skating arena nearby. So she talked about how she wanted to do something there and like create events and create a bigger group of figure skaters. Things like that. Find what they need, what they do, what they like, and then try to fit yourself there or like show how you fit and how you can benefit from those resources as well. So lastly, the personal statement. So what can and can you not do in that essay? Well, number 1, don't put the extracurriculars there. If you already said, put it in the supplement. So all of the things we said so far, don't put it in the personal statement. But what can they do then instead?
Well, if you want to talk about the extracurriculars in your personal statement, you better focus on things that you cannot see anywhere else in the application. So we already know how long you've been doing it. We already know how much money you raised, what you did with the funding. So we know all the surface details, but what we don't know is what kind of challenges did you have? How'd you overcome it? Did you learn anything? How'd you feel? Did you like it? Was it fun? What kind of questions did you have? All these questions that your mom would be interested to know after you're done with these extracurriculars would be something that you can put in your personal statement.
But don't just list it. I did MUN and I learned this. No, that's for the activities description, guys.
Your personal statement has to be personal. Your personal statement has to be what?
Personal.
Personal.
And something for parents to know, or even students too. But what we get from parents is that after we do this personal statement, is that why don't we list his accomplishments there? My daughter has done all of these great extracurriculars. Can we mention it there? Let's rewatch this video if you're curious about the answer to this, okay?
You know, after we filmed this, I still feel like we were a little bit of a fun police. But this time we did designate places that you can write about your ECs. So I hope that was a little more helpful and a little more clear than just being like, oh, don't write about this in your personal statement. But don't write about it in your personal statement.
Please. So thank you for watching this video, and if you really liked it, please like and subscribe our channel. So we'll see you in your next video. Bye-bye. 이 풀어야 돼, 갑자기 생각해보면.
근데 이거 우리 마이크 하시는 거 없으니까
아, 오케이. 없어? 오케이. 오케이, 바이.
아니
아, 내가 하나 하고 싶었던 게 넥스트 비디오에 힌트를 좀 주고 끝나고 싶기는 했어.
아 근데 우리가 지금 어떻게 될지 모르겠어.
아, 그렇구나. 오케이, then bye.